everybody, welcome to your roll and release stretch class. Thank you so much for joining me and taking the time to look after yourself and move. We will be using a foam roller today, so grab one if you have it. If you don't have one, don't worry, you'll still be able to do lots of great stretching. And we're going to really focus on stretching out through the whole body, right from your feet all the way through to your wrists and hands. So just take the roller and put it at the end of your mat, and then bring yourself down to lie flat on your back. Once you're down there, really allow yourself to kind of settle in, and take your hands to your ribs, take a nice deep breath in, and let it out. The first part of releasing and allowing your body to release is to quiet your mind and allow yourself to become present with your body in this current space and time. When you are distracted and your mind is loud, it doesn't let you focus in on your body and release where it's tight. In fact, it probably makes you hold it tighter. So just breathe with me here for a few minutes. Feel your ribs expand and then close in. Feel as you breathe out that you're drawing energy out of places where it doesn't need to be and letting them melt down. Feel as you breathe in that you're taking that energy in to send it to where you most want it to go. Maybe that's just a place where you want to send good vibes, positive energy. Or maybe it's somewhere to a muscle that you want to really allow it to be released and strengthened and stretched. As you take these last few breaths, see if you can really get that complete expansion of your ribcage into the mat underneath, into the front, and out to the sides. Often this underneath portion is challenging for us, and it's a good place to send your breath and your attention. And then I want you can take your hands down by your sides, and we're going to start with your left foot. Lift it up, and just come through some plantar flexion and dorsiflexion of your foot. So bring your toes towards you, press them away from you. And really see if you can get intentional about that movement. So not just kind of half here like this, but really pull them towards you, press them away from you. Find that full degree of range. And then extend your leg out on the roller, straighten it out, and continue on. So as you do that, I want you to feel that your muscle, your calf muscle, flexes on the roller underneath of you. So now we're working your foot and stretching it out, but we're also allowing you to really start to get some movement and circulation through those muscles. Good, finish with your left, place it down. Lift your right up, same thing, flex and point. This mobility of your feet is very important. One, because we actually use our feet a lot and don't work them. But two, because a lot of issues further up the chain, like in your legs or your back or your hips, often start at our feet. Extend your leg out, same thing, continue on. Press your heel away, feel it work all the way up through your calf into your hamstring. You might feel a nice little bit of a stretch there, especially if you have tight hamstrings like me. Now extend both of your legs out on the roller. Flex and point them both. And then we're going to do eversion and inversion. So I want you to turn your feet in so that the soles face each other. And then turn them out so it's like you're trying to really twist them away from each other. Now this is not your legs are going to move a little bit. Your knees are going to turn internally a little bit and externally a little bit. But I don't want it to be about you turning your legs. So really try to find that range through your feet. Inversion, eversion. Again, another good movement for your feet. Okay, now take your feet and place the bottoms of them on the roller. And I want you to imagine that you are a bird and that you're trying to wrap your feet around the top. So you need to have the roller in close enough that if you stood up, you could basically stand right up on the roller. Now wrap your feet around the roller. Really imagine that someone is pushing on your toes and pushing on your heels. And if you've been in classes with me, you know that I do indeed do this. So picture that I am there pressing down. You should feel it here in your calves and really screaming loudly in your feet. Find that work. Press, press, press. Now stay there, or if you want the next level, lift your butt up off the floor. Small movement forward, back. It's only a little bit. Keep that perching position. And we're really strongly working, strengthening, stretching your feet. Okay, yes, that will do. Now bring yourself down. Take your calves back onto the roller. Bring yourself up on your forearms. And we're going to do a little bit of a calf release here. So from your forearms, come all the way up, lift your butt up off the floor, slightly forward, or slightly back rather, slightly forward. Now I want you to stay on your calves here. I'm just gonna move back a little bit. So I want you to stay on your calves. So your calves are this portion of your leg right here. So stay on that as you roll them out. And really try to feel that you are pressing down in. So it might even help to flex your feet and feel that you are pressing into your calves. Now, if you have started to do some running during this time apart, or if you've been doing more walking or hill climbing or stairs, you may notice that your calves are very tight, and this is a really good one to do. And getting your calves loosened up or released early on helps prevent anything future like in your hips or your back. Okay, now leave the roller there. Sit your butt back down. Bring yourself back down to lying. Take your feet back to the roller, and you can have more of your heels on now. So not like way up like this or way back like this, but just kind of with your heels on in a comfortable position. And we're going to do a little bit of spinal articulation to release through your back. So take your hands, the heels of your hands, and place them on your ASIS bones or your hip bones. And bring your fingers forward so that you form a triangle towards your pubic bone. And then I just want you to move through your pelvis. So posterior tilt your pelvis, imprint it into the mat. Anterior tilt, lift it up. Feel how this release and movement comes now through your pelvis. So we're kind of working our way up the chain now. So you've done some work with your feet and legs, and now we're moving through the pelvis. And as you probably know, the pelvis is a very central part of the body because your legs hinge off it and your core hinges off it, and ultimately it connects very much everything about our body. So getting it mobile, making sure that it's in a good position is very important. So now just take your hands down by your sides. And you're going to do that again, but you're going to come through the posterior tilt of your pelvis, and then you're going to continue to peel yourself all the way up. Feel your shoulders release into the mat underneath of you, and then draw your ribs in and stick yourself back down. Now notice I'm not going too deep into what I want your core to be doing here, because I want the focus to be very much about your spine, allowing it to grow heavy and sink down around it and then peel up. And then release through your shoulders at the top. And then the top part of your spine, sink down and roll back down. And if you want to do this with your feet flat on the floor, then that is fine as well. Inhale to prepare, exhale. Allow this really slow, intentional rolling up of your spine. So we're just articulating through your spine here as we prepare to stretch it out and release it after. One more here. And then sit it down. Take the roller, glide it up, and you're going to place it underneath your sacrum or your tailbone. And I want you to find a position here where it feels pretty stable. So it should feel kind of nice to be here because we've emphasized the lordosis, the lower natural curvature of your back, and we've put your pelvis in a really good position. So this is a little bit more like what I was talking about before with your pelvis. So now I want you to start with your right leg, and I just want you to bring it into your chest, and then straighten it out and bring it down and bring it back to bent. So kind of like you are making a really exaggerated circle with your knee. Bring it in, bring it around. Now while you do this, I want you to try to keep your pelvis and hips neutral on the roller so they don't move around. But really let this come nicely through your hip. So when your leg comes in, you're coming through really strong hip flexion. And that's a really good way to stretch out and release your hip. Now you may notice as you come down, your leg straightens out that you feel some work in your hamstring. This is good. We're going to play with that in a minute. But for now, just getting this hip release happening. Okay, now both feet stay down. Drop your legs out to the sides. And again, more opening here in your hips. Can feel a really nice inhale. Exhale, let yourself kind of deepen into it if it's available to you. Adductors are really stretching out here. That's your inner thighs. Now bring your legs together and just hug them both in towards your chest, allowing yourself to come to in that posterior tilt. And then come back down, place both of your feet on the floor. Start with your right leg, extend it out straight. Now, I want you to do this for a hamstring stretch. So if you lengthen out, your leg stays straight the whole time. And if you lengthen out and lift your leg and you start to feel a hamstring stretch there, great. Then you just go down and you lift up just to that point. If you're not feeling the stretch there, then you continue to come up until you feel that hamstring stretch. Really feel that length here. And then when you feel the stretch, you press it down. Now, for some of you, if you have really flexible hamstrings, you might need to pull your leg in a little bit closer to your body. That's fine. Just sticking with the right for now. So as I lift up, I find the hamstring stretch pretty much right there. So that's as far up as I'm going to come. And then releasing down. Be mindful of what your pelvis wants to do. So I don't want you to get it up here and dump your back down underneath to really pull it up like this. Not the goal that we have in mind. One more here on this side. Finding that length through your hamstring. Breathe through it, stretching out. And then release it down. Other side, left leg lengthens out. Lift it up, find the stretch. Release it down. Now as you move through a few of them, you may notice that you can get a little bit higher, or that it stretches out a little bit more. That's good. If it doesn't, also fine. Just allow that breath that we connected to at the very beginning to move through your body. One more on this side. Okay, excellent job. Now bring yourself up. Take the roller and scoot it back a little bit more so that it is pretty much right behind your shoulder blades. Now again, this should feel pretty nice here in the position that you have it. And I want you to take your hands behind to support your neck. And I want you, we're going to do a curl up, but I want you not to focus on your core and instead focus on your spine. And imagine that you're trying to curve your spine as much as you can, bring yourself up. And then come down and open back as far as feels good for you. If it only feels good to go to here, totally fine. If it feels good to open way back, also totally fine. So exhale as you come up, rounding your spine underneath behind you, and then release down in the other direction. So we're now starting to move through spinal flexion and extension, and those are counter stretches of one another. So you might notice it feels really good after you bring yourself up to then stretch yourself back. And we're essentially moving your spine. We're like bending it forward and then pressing it back. And so that's why it feels good to do it in these two together. Come with your breath here. Find your range and the movement that feels good for you. Doesn't matter what that is, how far back you can come, not important. Now the next time you're back, I want you to stay back. And if it's available to you, take your hands away and just let yourself come down a little deeper. Now if that does not feel good on your neck, then leave your hands there. But if it's available to you, you can just let yourself come down and hang out back here. Release your shoulders. Allow that, you can move a little here on the roller. We're essentially stretching into your thoracic spine right between your shoulder blades. And then bring the roller so that you can put your neck on it, almost like you're having it as a neck pillow. Now from there, I'm just going to move my ponytail over this side. So from there, flip this way, you're going to be doing a little bit of work for your neck. So I want you to try to keep your neck right on the roller, and you're going to turn towards me and then turn in the other direction. And just imagine that your neck is rolling along the roller the whole time. Now we have these bones here at the bottom, and I want you to try to imprint into those bones. So as you roll across, roll onto those bones each way, all the way across. We have been spending more time on our screens, more time looking at screens or watching things, doing work on our computer with the kids on their homeschool. And I know for me personally, my neck has started to play up because I have been looking in one particular direction. And so this is a really great way to counter that. Okay, now leave the roller there. Hug your knees in and then bring yourself up. Position your knees towards the roller so that your feet and legs are then going to be going in the opposite direction in your Z-sit position. Now we did your flexion and extension of your spine, and now we're going to do lateral flexion. So take your hand onto the roller, make sure you have enough space out to your side. Take a nice breath in, and then exhale as you fold yourself over. And then you can take this top arm and bring it across. And really lengthen out there. And then peel yourself up. Leave the roller there. This arm comes up over top. This is one of my all-time favorite stretches. And it allows us to now start working through your upper body, movement of your upper body, and through your sides, and of course still through your spine. Exhale as you fold over and really see if you can reach that top end as far as you can. One more here. And then release from there. Bring yourself around so that you're going to have your palms on the roller. And then just sit yourself down. We're going to do a little bit of work here for your wrists. So take your arms and extend them out in front of you. Press your palms so that it's like you're pressing them against a wall. And then press them away down as far as you can. So flexion, pull them towards you. Extension, press them away from you. So this is letting us do some work here through your wrists. And I want you to feel, as your fingers come down in this direction, that you're getting the work into your forearms here. So we're working the extensors and flexors of your wrists and forearms. Really good work to be doing, especially if you tend to have problems with your wrists when you're down on your hands. Now alternating them. forward and back. And now take them out to the sides and in. So we call this pronation and supination of your wrists and elbow. I want you to see if you can really think about moving your wrists around like you're twisting them, not just rotating through your arms. So yes, there'll be a little bit of movement through your arms, but think about what your wrists are doing. Now extend your arms out straight. I know they're starting to get tired. Extend them out straight. And we're going to do some shoulder work. So elevate, retract, depress, protract. Lift your shoulders up. Squeeze them together behind you. Bring them down. Press them forward. So it's like you're doing a circle, and you can speed it up a little bit. So it's like you're circling it around. And try to come through that really great range. Okay, now bring your arms down. Just have a little release. Take your hands down to the roller. Knees underneath your hips. Now we're going to continue with the work for your wrists. So stabilize your shoulders. Don't want any of this or this up here. Okay, feel them down and back. And then roll the roller slightly forward, so that your wrists start to straighten out, and then roll it back so it's like you're bringing your wrists down closer to the floor. Straightening it out, rolling it back. Now the amount that you roll and the degree of the flexion that you take on is dependent on your body. So if it doesn't feel good to do very much, you just stay here and do a little bit, that's totally fine. Just kind of, again, exploring, moving through your wrists. I mean, let's be serious, when do we stretch our wrists? And yet we use them all the time. Typing, writing, on our phone. Okay, good. Now just park the roller there. Bring your hand down. Let's start with the left hand on the floor. Take your right arm, bring it underneath, and I want you to really allow yourself to basically lay here on the floor. Rest your shoulder there on the floor. This is another really great shoulder release and stretch. Okay, good. Other side. I'm going to flip around here so you can see me. So now your right palm is down. Left shoulder or left arm comes underneath. Bring your shoulder down. And the roller can be really great for this. If it's too much to get your shoulder on the floor, then put the roller underneath and you can come down to here. And it actually gives you still the lovely stretch without having to come down on the floor if that range isn't available to you. So take that option if you need it. And then from there, roller is going to be on the floor again. This time on your left side, knees towards the roller. Sit yourself up tall, feet and legs going the other direction. And then press across, folding your arm over. Lateral flexion again. Release, park the roller, open up. Coming back down, exhale, find the length. So we're going from the tips of your fingers here all the way down your side to your top butt cheek over here. See if you can find as much space as possible there. Check your under shoulder, trying to keep it away from your ear. Good, unravel coming through again, pressing across. Release from there, folding over. And of course you can do this without the roller. You can just have your hand on your bottom arm on the floor. Okay, good. Now I want to do a little bit of rotation for you. So just bring yourself to a comfortable seated. And if you have the roller, it's actually quite nice to sit up on the roller. If you don't have a roller, that's fine. Just sit on the floor or on your mat. So find yourself seated here comfortably and feel like you can really bring yourself up tall. Take your hands out to either side. On your exhale, I want you to rotate towards the side, leaving your arms in line with your body. And then come back to the center and rotate to the other side. So earlier we did that, excuse me, release through your thoracic spine. And now we're doing this rotation through your thoracic spine. So you can think of that we released it to let it move a little more. Exhale as you rotate, and that's gonna let you get even deeper into that rotation. Trying to keep your hips and pelvis neutral on the roller so they stay facing forward like they have headlights on them, not allowing them to twist underneath of you. Okay, good. Take your arms up overhead. And then just press them down. A little bit more shoulder work here. Bring them out in front of you. Rotate, press them down. Now, if it's available to you and you want to rotate all the way back behind you, go for it. Basically making these grandiose circles with your arms as you release your shoulders. Other direction. If it doesn't feel good for you to do this full range, that's fine. Take it through the range that you need to or that feels the best for you. Okay, last one there. And then bring yourself down off the roller. Take it in front of you and take a wide stance so that you can sit yourself back down. Hands are in front, or hands are on the roller. And then roll it forward as you come forward into your child's pose. Now, once you're there, you can just let your head dangle so that your forehead comes down onto the floor. And it's actually going to go between your arms. And doing that is going to give you a really great stretch into your thoracic spine. And then you can just kind of bring your head up and feel that you're squeezing, that you're pressing your arms down, so protracting your scapulae. And then drop your head back down, opening your arms up. One more, lift up, press your arms into the roller. Other way. Okay, very good. Take the roller, place it to the side. Find yourself in a comfortable seat, and if you want to sit back on the roller for this, then you can. Take your hands to your ribs. Take a really nice deep breath in, and then let it out. Do it again, and just let your shoulders drop as you exhale. Breathe in again. Let your arms release as you exhale. Breathe in again. Let your back release as you exhale. Breathe in, exhale your hips, release. Breathe in, exhale your legs, release. Breathe in, exhale your feet, release. And finally, breathe in. Exhale, your mind releases. Let it all go. Let yourself just be here, grateful for showing up to do this work. Take your hands out to your side, bring them up overhead, glide them down to the land in front of your heart. As you pause there, indeed give yourself a positive compliment, a kind word, a high five for taking the time to do this stretching and to look after your body. Thank you so much for being here and showing up and joining me. Hope you have a great rest of your day or evening. See you later, guys.